what's funny? I just don't understand what the tagline for the show is anymore. I really don't know. I'm getting sick and tired of trying to say it. I don't know if it's because I drink too much. I don't know if it's because I'm losing sleep at night, or it's probably the stress from my real job. All I know is this is the podcast to travel with, and I think I finally said that right. Welcome to BWE Beyond the Ropes. It is your host, the one and the only Diamondback Joey Styles, and today, if you can hear it in my voice, and if you can hear it loud and clear, I am saying this in the most angriest aspect because the guy I have here in my house, aka my studio, he is probably the angriest man in the mafia. He is the, quote unquote, what's that word again? Concilier?
I don't even know how to say the word.
I know how to spell it.
Conciliary?
Consigli.
I don't even know. I'm just a member.
You're a member of. You're one of the key members of the mafia.
Thank you.
I'm just gonna say it like that. He is BDB, also known as Eric Batista, and his real name is Eric Rodriguez. Eric, welcome to Beyond the Ropes. Thank you for being a guest on my show.
No, thank you for inviting me.
No
You
problem.
you forgot one wrestling name too.
What name is that?
The Punisher. Yeah.
Oh yes. That was a key. That's a key character in BWE and also a key character in other federations. And we're gonna get to that today. We're gonna talk to BDB about everything from NXW, his early days. We're gonna talk to him how he transitioned to BWE, what he does in his personal life. You might think he's an angry guy on television, but he's actually probably one of the most chill characters in real life today. He's like a big teddy bear.
Yeah, I was going to say that.
You just want to hug him. It's always the big guys that are always the coolest. They may look like they're angriest, but they're actually the coolest people to meet. So we're going to get right to it. And the first place we're going to start is, on one of my prior shows, I interviewed a family member of yours, both from Mafia and also, well, he was a former Mafia member, thanks to you. But we interviewed Jason Cage, your cousin Christian.
Yes.
And he relocated to Dallas, Texas. And we kind of got somewhat of the input of how you, Javier, those of you who don't know, his name is Renegade, and Christian and yourself, you guys transitioned into when you did your own backyard thing. Then you found out NXW. What is your side of things in terms of getting into NXW, your development in character? And I knew there were some things that were going on that you necessarily didn't agree with. Share me your thoughts and run by the story with us.
All right, well, this is how it all started. We used to, we were young. We liked wrestling. We always loved wrestling since we were younger. Me, Christian, Jonathan, who's known as Hellraiser, or in BWE Rhino. We also used to wrestle, and also Jeremy Mason. We used to wrestle in Christian's backyard, and we always used to wrestle. We used to always mimic the WWE games with the specials, and if you had 3 specials, you can use it. Javi came along right after. Javi liked wrestling. That's how we clicked with Javi. Then we used to wrestle in the backyard. Javi brought the belt. Javi brought the memories.
The BWE, well,
the world was the BWE Championship.
The WWE Undisputed Championship belt.
WWE Undisputed Championship belt. Javi brought that along. All right, we got hype, made us wrestle more. Then, cut the story short, Javi was introduced to the guys at NXW. He brought along Cage, and I followed along because that's my cousin and that's my boy. I followed along and I started wrestling. In NXW, they liked Javi and Christian more, so they were pushed faster. I was stuck in the bottom. I was dealing with some of you guys may know.
So you felt like you were the outcast of the trio that originally came off of NXW.
Of course, and to be honest with you, I loved wrestling, but I wasn't
into it.
Not that I was into it. I wasn't fully, talented. Yeah. Like how Christian and Javi were. Javi basically learned how to wrestle from just watching. Yeah. And to be honest with you, back in when we first started, Javi was the better. out of all of us.
Yeah.
Javi, everything was wrestling for Javi. Javi could wrestle in his sleep if he wanted to.
Yeah.
And then came Christian, and Christian progressed in NXW. He learned from everybody else. He learned from, a little bit from X. He learned a little bit from Joe, from you. He learned, and especially he learned a lot from Chambers. Him and Chambers always wanted to wrestle each other, and I think they wrestled so many times with each other. They had different characters. NXW, you can have 5 characters, and somehow it worked out.
Yeah, you always had a different outcome to every match.
But it was funny because Renegade had, which is Javi, he had like 4 characters. Javi had the Rey Mysterio. He had the John Cena, which he had a bike chain, and Javi hated it. They got mad at me one time when I spilled the beans. I didn't care at that point. I wrote his rhymes, and they were like, "Yo, why you saying that?" It's whatever. I should have kept my mouth shut. Sometimes you got to keep certain things up. And then Javi had I said the Rey Mysterio, right? He had the mask. He had the mask.
John Cena.
Yep. And then he had the cane.
Oh my god.
Because Jonathan, who was Hellraiser, he stood as Hellraiser. His character was the Undertaker.
Yeah.
So he decided he wanted to do the cane because he knew how to do the eye. He knew how to do the eye. I'm telling you, if you guys seen Javi play Renegade play Kane, he had the eye on point. And Cage stood to his character. He stood as Jason Cage the whole time. Like I said, NXW, you could be any character you wanted, and somehow you've managed to make it work.
So you felt like an outcast, right?
Yes.
So now the whole outcast aspect of you brought on some, I would say, strange moments. Give me a strange moment of frustration that you've dealt with in the NXW. There was particularly one match that we went over with backstage. I want you to show the viewers what that moment was, because literally.
Okay. Well, we're gonna go back a little bit. Where I said I was in the. Let's go back a little bit.
Okay.
Let's backtrack. When I said I was in the bottom when it started. All right. A lot of people don't know there was this kid who used to come to park all the time. We used to call him Little Earl Hebner. His name is Jerry, and he was like our number 1 fan, and he always wanted to participate as much as he could. So we gave him the opportunity. He was our main ref, and he did a good job.
Yep.
All right. He had family members that used to come to the park and support us as well, and his family members wanted to wrestle also. 2 or 3 of them, they weren't really. Listen, I sucked when I started, but if they had to choose, if they had one spot on the dream team at that time, they would have picked me, because they weren't really too good.
Yeah.
All right, but the way NXW was, like I said, they pushed Cage and Renegade faster, and they stuck me with those guys almost every week.
So literally, it kind of pissed you off. You were getting a little angry.
It kind of pissed me off, but you know what? I let it be because I liked wrestling, and you know what? I admit, at that time I was an annoying kid. I would always bother them, call them up, be like, "Yo, what's gonna be this week? What's gonna be this week?" And I would call them, and it wasn't not to do it on purpose, but I was so hyped to be part of the show that I just wanted to know what was going on. I was impatient. So I got the opportunity to, I don't remember what show was it. Joe, we spoke about it. Do you remember the show? Was it
the show for
that infamous thing happening? But you know what? We'll go back because it happened all in 1 year.
Okay.
So a couple months later, they started giving me the chance, and I thought everything was all good. I had won the United States title on and off. I think I won it like 4 times that year. Mm-hmm. And then I was promised, okay, you're going to get your big break. You're going to go in the main event. And something happened where the day of the show, I was told, like right before my match with, was it Adam and Carl Camacho, that I was going to lose that title and they were going to give it to Carl. And mind you, Carl had just started maybe 2 weeks into the show, into the federation, and they gave it to Carl. And I was like, you know what, fine, I'm gonna be a team player about it. And when that happened, Carl went into the match. It ended up being an awesome match. Carl didn't win it. I don't remember who won that match, but that match ended up being awesome. It was like it's like some type of elimination chamber with 6 people. And the match was awesome. I wish I was in it. I felt some type of way. And then as weeks and months progressed, I started finding out that rumor had it was that Mr. Joey Styles was the one that got me out of that match. He says that I didn't deserve it, or I wasn't up to par with them to even go into that match. Sometimes at that time, I felt a couple people in that locker room, their heads were too high up in the mantle, and they thought that they were better than everybody. So, but that's what it was. There's a lot of stories, but this was like the one that really egged me the most.
So what was your favorite match, and what was your least favorite match down in NXW?
My favorite match in NXW, actually, when near the end of NXW, it was in a block party. It was for the NXW World Heavyweight title. I was champion, and I went against Jay Cloud, my brother, in a block party. We were the first match, and I felt that we stole the show. It was in Bushwick. We were the first match. The crowd went wild. Jay was doing some crazy ass moves. Had some. I was he threw me out the ring, and we was on the concrete. He went on top rope and he did a front flip, landed on my back. The kids were loving it. Kids were enjoying that match. Everybody was clapping, right? And at the end, I ended up winning. But to me, that was one of my favorite matches because Jay did his thing, and Jay's always a good wrestler to go in the ring with. He listens to everything. If you feel like you dragging, he'll bring you up. He'll make your match good. Period. Anybody he wrestles, he knows how to help them out and make them better.
What was your least favorite match?
My least favorite match was against it would have to be G Money.
Any
sorry.
Details?
The first matches when I started they were horrible, but when I got better, G Money was just he tries so hard. He's a good guy. He tries so hard, but he heard about the Locksmith match in BWE, and he was running NXW at that time. So he tried to push that Locksmith match into the NXW, and that shit was an epic fail. That shit was horrible. I don't even think he could find the keys. I think he lost them for a while. The match went longer than it was supposed to be.
So it's funny that you mentioned getting better, because I think after a while in NXW, with all the decline that you felt, and I probably didn't push you at the time, and I think it was all but worth it, because later on you jumped ship to BWE, and I became the general manager for their SmackDown brand. You were the top face, and that's right. And to talk, let's not go into SmackDown yet, but let's talk about how I got into BWE. I think you were gonna go to it. But yeah, I was. Actually,
I beat you to the punch.
You beat me to the punch, and I'll give you that. That's fine.
BDB
that's
status.
Fine. Go ahead. Angry man.
Yeah. When I started, it's basically simple. I would start NXW. Renegade went first. Javi went first. Chris went after. All right. Then I came. Jonathan went, who's Hellraiser. Jeremy went. Carl, Henry, Barry, and Adam. We all went. We all went to BWE. I can say we helped it out. We made it better because I think they were losing wrestlers at the same time. All right. When I first got there, they had Renegade on Raw and Christian on Raw. Then Renegade went to SmackDown. All right. They didn't know really what to do to me, where to put me. So I remember going into a Raw pay-per-view, into the pie eating contest, and I guess to see it as a joke because nobody, none of the other guys who were BWE made, it's like a initiation. Nobody wanted to win it, but they said let the new guy win it. Let Punisher, because I went in as Punisher at that time. They said let Punisher win it. Let Punisher win the pie eating contest, right? So it was no problem. I said I'll take the win. I don't care. I took the win, and then I got my little beat down from Y2R because he was quote unquote the man, like he said he was back in the days. All right. Then I still wasn't on the show, and I ended up in the Royal Rumble, BWE's Royal Rumble, the one that TG won. I think one. I don't remember. I probably might be wrong. Because if I can recall, inside joke, Kevin, you threw yourself out yourself, and you ended up back in there. But yeah, I was a no show. I was on no shows at the Rumble, and then when Joey became GM, I guess Kevin made the decision to throw me on SmackDown because at the end of the day, Raw was Kevin's show. Kevin was the boss. Kevin wanted his Raw to be the main show. Alright? Joey took over SmackDown, and to be honest, Joey gave Kevin a run for his money. Because there were times where Joey would throw better shows on SmackDown than Raw. Alright? And prove that's my opinion.
That was just proving a point, though. It's just no matter what talent you had on your roster, you can always make the most of it. And I think that's where I kind of transitioned my mind to be, you know what, let me not push because of favoritism and politics and all that. Let me push to see if they have what it takes to go. And I think pushing you...
You know what? I don't mean... I'm sorry to interrupt you, but it's coming in my... It's popping in my head, and I don't want to forget it. But... correct me if I'm wrong, but I feel like they gave you, they put you into something that anybody else that would have taken it would have probably just gave up. Because you think about it, help me out here. The main roster of SmackDown was George, myself, Renegade, Hellraiser, Henry, Rey Mysterio, which is Reginald Odom, and BTZ. And Rey Mysterio being Koro King. Yeah. Hey, Raw had Scorpion, Ramon Haskins, TG1, Christian, John Ariel, Zero, Carl Camacho, Jeremy, even Reggie when he came around, Dragon. Kevin had all the top stars on his Raw brand. Right? And he left you with all the B and the D. Because at that time going in, before I even got the chance, Javi was the only big star on SmackDown. Alright? Was the only big star on SmackDown. Alright? They probably thought you were gonna give it up right away. Because back in the day, Joey, you did have a short temper. You were quick to, I don't care no more, I'm done. Yeah. So, they thought that, because SmackDown was destined to fail. Yeah. That's how I felt it. SmackDown was destined to fail. And to be honest with you, SmackDown did fall, but that was after you gave it up. Because SmackDown lasted that long while you were running the ship.
That's right. What a lot of people don't know, though, is at that time with SmackDown did have the B&D guys. My inner Paul Heyman wanted to create new guys. And I created... what probably was the B-D line turning into A guys and giving them the shot on an equal playing field that Raw had. Now, one of the most infamous, best matches at that time was the Locksmith match at Judgment Day between you and Renegade.
What's funny? So before I go into the Locksmith match, to this day, I overhear people saying that that match, not the match in general, but the Locksmith match, it being a Locksmith match was a bad idea.
It was bad?
They said the Locksmith, just it being a Locksmith, like it's just one of the worst gimmick matches. And I don't believe that. I thought the gimmick match was. I thought that gimmick match that people say the Locksmith match, I think it was original. The BWE's never did it before, and it was something new, and it gave SmackDown a big boost. Because you know why? Joey put two people that knew each other very well, all right, in a match, and made the match 100 times better, and made the pay-per-view, to this day, I think one of the best SmackDown pay-per-views ever in BWE history. I'm gonna get some slack on it. I'm gonna be like, no, maybe. You know what? If I have footage, I'll be like, you know what? Put the tape on right now. But mysteriously, that tape got messed up. There was no sound, and then it disappeared.
No, That was such a damn good match too, man, because that's what put SmackDown on the map.
Yes, and go back to my character. When I first started, the crowd fell in love with me even before I even got into a match. Like even with my first match, I came out 1, 2, 3, 4.
Yeah, the Drowning Pool song.
The Drowning Pool song. It came from the What a coincidence! It came from the Punisher soundtrack, and I was Punisher.
You just brought it out.
The song was called "Step Up." Right? I came out, and the crowd came out. The crowd fell in love with the song. And the crowd fell in love with me. People acting crazy. If it was a real, in a real arena with security probably would have never allowed it. But people in the crowd were jumping on me, giving me hugs, this and that, giving me fives, because I guess I was that type of character where I was a babyface. All right, I didn't know how to be a heel at that time. I was a babyface. I was running around getting everybody flat fives, pounds, this and that, giving them hugs, happy, excited. I was hyped. All right, and when that match at Judgment Day happened between me and Renegade, when I want to say that the match was one of the best matches on SmackDown, the SmackDown brand period, was because if you were there that day, you cannot tell me the crowd was not stuck on that match. And every move that we did, the crowd responded with a roar, with a clap, with a oh shit, oh.
It was an ooh and ah match.
It was an ooh and ah match, all right. And I to this day, like I said, it's one of the best SmackDown matches. And I keep tapping it because I'm getting into this conversation.
Don't break my studio
I'm
table,
not gonna break it. I'm not at the BDB mode, but
This is the good thing though. But this is what it is. It's true emotion coming out of BDB, aka Eric Rodriguez.
We had me and Renegade had a rematch the next week. It didn't end up coming out the way we wanted it to, but that's how we ended. That's how we ended our storyline, our rivalry until 13.
Right.
But we talked to 13.
We'll go about that. We're gonna get to that a little bit later on. But how did it feel to be BWE champion, knowing that you had the brand on your shoulders and you had to carry it into the new age of BWE for them? Like, what did it feel like being champ?
You know what? It was it was great. It was my first title. Period. It was my first heavyweight title, because I was ready. Like in NXW, I was like 5-time United States champion. I won the United States champions, I don't know, over 10 times over there, because they kept giving it to me. I don't know why, but
it is prestigious, but
yeah, the United States, it was a beautiful belt.
Yeah,
but the BWE title, that was one of my first heavyweight titles, and I was excited because I got the opportunity. Yeah, I got a big opportunity in BWE, and I felt like, they say usually when you get something precious and sometimes you make a mistake. I felt like that I made some choices. In the couple months after I held the title that I regret to this day. Because when I had the title for 2 months. Right, I beat Renegade. It was almost, I think it was a month and a half. I beat Renegade. No, it was a month. I'm sorry. I beat Renegade, and then at Great American Bash, I went 1-on-1 with the Don, with Dave Matthews for the United States title. All right, it was a good match, and take that away. But then I dropped the title that same day.
Yeah.
Yeah, and so that's why I'm saying that was the mistake.
So you felt like it was a double-edged sword.
Yeah.
Stabbing you pretty much.
Yeah, I felt like, because sometimes I think business-minded, and sometimes I feel like my ideas can work behind the scenes as a GM or somebody behind the scenes. When the opportunity came, when you were telling me before that you were leaving and you wanted me to take over SmackDown, and I said, yeah, I do it. And then what threw me off was that you said I couldn't hold the belt. And I made the stupid decision by saying I take it, when in reality I think the person that was runner-up for that GM, which was George, should have taken it. Because you know him right now, he's one of the best. I think.
Oh yeah, hell yeah.
He's. Do you call yourself the Paul Heyman? He's like Eric Bischoff basically.
Yeah.
He's the man. Like he's the mastermind to a lot of this stuff. He's the mastermind behind the Mafia.
Yeah.
All right. He would have taken it. Maybe, who knows? Maybe SmackDown, things would have ran a little differently.
Yeah.
All right. And I think I made that mistake because I feel like maybe I wanted the power to show maybe I can top Kevin in Raw. Maybe I can prove my point. But I think if I was stood and I said no, I think I could have been champion a little longer, and I think I could have had more matches with other people, and I think maybe people from Raw would want to come to SmackDown and challenge me as the champion.
There was always a philosophy about being GM. To me, was you can't be champ and run the ship. If you're gonna run the ship, you got to give your quartermaster something. And it's funny.
And you learned that from NXW.
Yeah.
Because you did have people who wanted to be GM and wanted to be champion at the same time.
Right.
And you know what? People would say, Anarchy, they are Chambers, but you know what? Other people too. They weren't on the one. You had
I did too.
X and you had Des Moines, and you were GM and you were champion of all belts at one point.
But this is the funny thing. People don't realize the key of that whole time winning the belts.
Yeah.
People needed to get put over. I didn't keep all the belts simultaneously for, let me stay with it for 1 year. Every month I lost a belt. Slow building. To tell the story.
Wasn't Joel that also? Wasn't Joel GM one time and he made himself champion?
Yeah, I think so. If I remember, I think so.
I got a funny story about him. I'm sorry, we were talking about BWE.
So what was this story? No. Now you just brought it up. What's that story about?
So this is after the situation with BWE with the GM. I kind of left BWE after the GM situation, but we'll go back to that. I went back. I was still with NXW and I was getting a push. Raymond was the undisputed champion. He had beaten his brother at the Twin Tower ladder match, and Raymond came to me and said, I want to drop the title to you at Savior Series. So I said, fine, but he's like, you gotta work with Joel. Winner of that match, the pay-per-view before that, you got the winner of that match between you and Joel, which is the game, and Icebreaker. He had two characters. Will go against me. So we came to the conclusion I was gonna beat Joel, and during the match, he's beating me senseless. And he does this move called a drop suplex. And I'll be honest with you, I was scared to take that drop suplex. When I saw him do it to Gwen and Gwen landed on her neck, I said, no, this is not happening. He did it to me once. He had to have help from somebody in the crowd to pick me up because I was not letting him pick me up by himself.
Damn.
If it fell on my neck, I would have just...
I remember that. It's like an accordion feel with your spine.
I didn't want that. So I had a feeling, because when he's going to do it to you, he goes, drop suplex, nigga. And he's gonna. That's what he says all the time. Everybody, you can ask anybody who's taking the drop suplex when he goes drop suplex, nigga, and give you the drop suplex. But I told him, I was like, nah. I hope he don't give it to me. I'm not looking forward to it. Give me the pedigree, whatever. Fine. He knew I was supposed to win the match, right? And I guess something happened when he didn't like the idea. So during the match, we're fighting, and he's beating me down. I'm in this little, remember 302 Park had that little ditch between the school and the park. He put me through there. And he's like, yo, nigga, I'm going to win this one. So I said, if I say no, he's probably going to drop suplex me. So I said, sure, go ahead.
So you felt like it was a ransom for him to get over?
It was a ransom. And he didn't give me the drop suplex. Damn. And then I was like, you know what? I might have just lost my title shot. Yeah. Because anything is possible. There's politics in the NXW locker room. Right. I would have lost it. But something happened where the same person who told me they were going to win said, don't worry, you're still going to get your title shot. I'll make sure of that. So what happened was I let him win the title. I let him win the match. And I guess he went backstage and said, work away to still put him in the match. Yeah. And I still ended up being in the main event in Savior Series. All right? And I won. That match could have been, match is my top 5. Yeah. I gave respect to, because a lot of people would be like, go say, Raymond Anarchy, he's selfish, all he wants to do is win titles. I didn't beg him. I didn't tell him. I expected to lose that match. Yeah. He said, bro, I want you to win this belt. Yeah. You deserve it. And he gave me the chance.
Gave you the opportunity.
He gave me the opportunity. And to the crowd, to certain wrestlers in there, I'm not going to say no names, they were disrespectful because as they wanted us, because there were certain people in that locker room, they wanted us to respect them while they watched their matches. They didn't give us that respect because of the fact that a lot of people didn't respect Raymond
and his authority.
So they disrespected me and him in a way because they weren't supporting our match. Yeah. All right. And I felt like that match could have been better if we would have gotten the support, but we didn't get the support that we did. That match ended up being okay. But I was happy either way because it was my first title. 3 years being in NXW. That was my first world title.
Big world championship.
Yeah. First world title. And then I lost it 2 weeks later.
Yeah.
That's another mistake. See, my first time winning belts, there was something happened where I ended up losing it in a short time. Right. Saying they had BWE, it happened my first U.S. title, all my first titles. Something happened where I lost it because of management isn't that. They thought NXW
Knucklehead moves.
They thought I was leaving. They thought I wasn't coming back. I was gone for like 2 weeks. I come back to find out Barry Benjamin was the world champion.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Well, we're gonna take a short break right now. We got through a lot, man. We got through some of the early days.
Yeah. I mean, yeah. Wow.
How do you feel?
I feel good.
Does it feel like you're relieved a little bit?
All it's doing is just anger.
Are you getting angry again? Like, what the hell? Are you getting angry? Come on, man.
It's the past.
Go take a Prozac or something, dude.
I'm going to take another Altoid.
He's going to take another Altoid. Ladies and gentlemen, we'll be right back right after this word.
Hey, you want the last one?
No, I don't want the last one. You can have it, man. Because I don't want you beating me up afterwards.
We arrested these 5 on Xandar.
What a bunch of a-holes.
The breakout blockbuster of the year is coming home.
You're welcome.
They call themselves the Guardians of the Galaxy.
We're just getting started.
And some of the galaxy's biggest stars agree.
That is true.
You're being serious right now?
I am Groot!
Quit smiling, you idiot. You're supposed to be a professional.
Let's do a dance-off! This is gonna hurt. I am Groot.
Oh, yeah.
Guardians of the Galaxy. Own it on digital HD November 18th and on Blu-ray December 9th.
And we're back, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you for joining us on our illustrious show, BWE Beyond the Ropes. This should keep you entertained. As you all know, we are still planning the BWE Rumble, and tentatively scheduled for August 2nd, 2015 is our premiere show, BWE 2015. Just follow us on Facebook, on facebook.com/BWE, and follow us on Instagram. And most importantly, I think this is the most important channel. Follow us on youtube.com/BWE events, where you can catch this podcast. You can catch all of our prior events and shows live and uncut, I guess. And you can see BDB be angry and, piss off Jeremazing at one point. But we're going to start with the BWE 20 saga. I think I'm going to start calling it that. I want to see if I can get that trademarked by the upper guys. The BWE 20 series. We're going to start with BWE 2013. And since you've been banging on my damn table, I'm going to bang the table too as good luck, because this is an interesting story, because you are a key guy in this entire process. How did BWE 2013 come about for you? And what got it started? How'd you find out about it?
Well, there was rumblings going around that Kevin wanted to do BWE 13, and he asked the guys. I think he got a chat room going, or he just messaged a couple people, and he asked me if I was still interested. So I told him I'm not sure yet, because I have a messed up back, so I wasn't sure yet. And I was like, I asked him, when do I have until? And he was like, you have until Mania of, what was it, 29, WrestleMania 29.
Right.
Yeah. So I told him, I'll let him know. I was joking around. I said, I'll let you know at Mania. We'll be there. You're gonna be there too. I went to WrestleMania.
Yeah.
But I had told him probably like a week before or 2 weeks before. I said, yeah, I'm down. We left it at that. So then I came up with an idea. I saw something on the internet, right? And I got together. I got. Let's go back. All right. I told them, yeah, but there was a method to my madness, and I'm gonna be honest.
Go ahead.
That was a method to my madness. I wanted to go one-on-one with Renegade again.
Right.
He's the guy that gave me the big break in that match. He made me the beat up. You know, because of him, he made me who I was, and you know, he made me that champion in WWE. He made me bring out the best in me. So I had a method to my madness. I wanted Renegade. Kevin didn't want it. Kevin felt he wanted me to go against someone I didn't go against. He wanted Renegade to go against someone I didn't go against. So my method to my madness was pitch some ideas to him, and maybe he'll buy into, you know, as a favor. Okay, no problem. You know what? You did this. I'll give you what you want.
Right.
So my method to the madness was, I knew that George was one of the board members, and I think Y2R also, and Reggie was a board member. And something happened, and Reggie ended up leaving and not being a board member. I took them out to the Chinese restaurant. You sit down Chinese restaurant called Mr. Lee's.
Mr. Lee's.
In Bushwick. It's a sit down Chinese restaurant. Bought some drinks. We had food. We sat down. I pitched this idea about this radio show that we come up with. All right. It was called Blog Talk Radio. It's a website. You have a radio show. You schedule it. You have your radio shows. He liked the idea. All right, and then he asked me, "Do you want to be part of the board?" So I said, "Sure, I'll put part of the board. You know, I don't mind helping out. I wouldn't mind helping out." So,
can I say something before you go on?
Yeah.
I gotta say this. This is as truthful I'm gonna say it. I gotta say thank you, because if not for you, I wouldn't be doing what I'm doing now. Because I think what you did on the Blog Talk Radio show gave me some sort of like confidence. Like, damn, he sounds pretty damn good. I want to get into a podcast, and I want to.
Well, you know, when it comes to the idea aspect, the business aspect of the Blog Talk Radio, you know what? I could take the credit for, but if it wasn't for George,
yeah,
that guy can do his own radio show, and I think he can get mad millions of likes. I think
millions of hits.
I think if he wanted to, I think he'd become a radio personality. I think he'd become a comedian.
He's very good on the mic.
He's very good on the mic. I think he don't even take classes, and he's really good at that stuff. Yeah. He made the talk show what it was, because me, when I got on, I didn't know what the fuck to do.
Yeah.
You know, Kevin helped out as much as he can. Just do this, talk about that, talk about this. This guy, tell him to talk about two things, and he can go 20 minutes about talking on one topic and still be on point, and it still sound good
and interesting and entertaining.
Because there was times I caught myself messing up. He would catch on. He would jump in and just act and fix it up like if I didn't mess up at all.
Yeah.
He was a pro at it, and he doesn't. And that was the first time me and him did something together. I think that was the first time he ever did.
And that was originally called Talk and Shoot. Am I right?
Yes, it was Talk and Shoot by Blog Talk. It was Blog Talk Radio. It was BWE Talk and Shoot. All right, and that's how the plan was. How we were gonna build a lot of our storylines there.
All around the radio show.
All around the radio show. And I thought it was a success. And I think that's where it ended up, where the experience came in. Experience became a bigger success.
Yeah.
And this is where now your podcast, which I think is gonna even be a bigger success, because you're giving the opportunity for everyone to speak what they wanted to speak for the longest.
Yes, sir.
All right, stories behind the scenes and everything.
Yes.
All
Yes.
right.
I think it's in our best interest to let people know more about us, so they can gain the reason why this whole podcast came about is to prepare. Believe it or not, everybody learning your story that is going to hear this, they're going to know the prequel to BW 2015. I think this is a prequel for most of us. We're going to get that out there and prepare for BW 15.
You want to know something about BW 13? Probably nobody. It probably was brought up, but probably, I don't know.
That's you.
The top 10 BW wrestlers of all time. Me being number 10 was a whole.
Did you feel you deserve to be higher than that?
You know what? I'm happy that I'm on that list. Period. A lot of people didn't want me on that list.
I think you deserve
a lot of people didn't want me on the list. You know what the weakness? One person said that I paid my way to get on that list, but I don't think that was fair. Right. I put my money in to support the company.
Yeah, that's separate.
You know what I'm saying? There were times where, like I was saying, there was times when I was behind some bills, because you know what? I wanted the show to go on. Right. There's funny times where I said, you know what? I'm gonna get lucky. Go to the casino. You can ask Kevin. I said, yo, Kevin, I just came from the casino here. Here's $100. You know, stuff like that, because I wanted the show to go on. I was so excited. I was becoming a wrestling fan again. At first, that shit died out, and then when Kevin wanted to do the BW 13, that wrestling fan came back, and I thank Kevin for that, because ever since he started that BW 13 crap and got so excited about it, I'm a wrestling fan again. And I'll be honest with you, it took Chris a while. I know he didn't show up for 13, but you could tell in his face, little by little, he was coming back, because he thought about jumping into 13.
Yeah.
He thought about jumping into 13. The rumor had it he was going to go against, I don't know, there was rumor he was going to go against Y2R. There was rumors where I was trying to get Chambers to come back and wrestle Cage.
Yeah.
Because at first Cage was like, yeah, sure, you know, I'll do it. And then something happened where
You're skeptical about it.
he got skeptical about it, and he changed his mind.
Yeah.
But you could tell he was still there a little bit. He got a little hype. And what got him hype was that top 10.
Yeah.
Going back to that top 10, some people felt like because I just got there and I'm putting money into the BWE fund, and I had bad promos, my bad in-ring talking doesn't put me in that category as top 10. But one person that convinced them and showed them why I deserved to be in that top 10, once again, was George. Dave Matthews. And why? Simple as I said it before. What other wrestler do you know that went into SmackDown and had the crowd, who was one of the great, almost the fan favorite? Who was the fan favorite then and got the crowd hyped when he came out and when he wrestled? Besides, Renegade, which Renegade and Christian, they got the top 5.
Yeah.
All right? Me. So why do I not deserve a spot?
They absolutely deserved it. Definitely
Right.
deserved
It was tough.
It was tough.
It was
but
tough.
Still, you got up there. You proved your ground. You proved your worth. Oh, you got up there. You actually deserve to be on that top 10.
OMX argument with, because I'll be honest, OMX was one of the persons that hated the top 10 because he wasn't on it.
Yeah.
All right, but look what happened in the outcome. I think that made OMX a better wrestler.
Yeah, absolutely.
It made him a better wrestler because he has something to prove, right? And that's what started the experience. Because you know what, I may have started talking shoot, but the experience came out right after. The experience came out right after, and that's why his experience ended up overlapping talking shoot, because you had him taking care of it, because he would be on point on it.
Yeah.
So it was you can also thank him because his him being the loudmouth and being the I don't give a attitude, that Stone Cold CM Punk persona, I don't give a F, screw that, I speak what's real. I think that also kind of helped this podcast also that influenced the podcast a little bit. So I give him kudos. But he was angry about that man is an angry man.
Yeah. You sure? I don't think so.
I mean, behind the scenes he's not, but if you want to be like,
oh yeah, bullshit.
If he
is an angry
if he
man.
was Puerto Rican, he would be BDB's brother.
Yeah, for real.
Yeah, but
close enough. Yeah, he's pretty angry too. He'd be on Facebook like wilding out and all this stuff. Shout out to OMX if you're listening to this show. Thank you so much for some of the influence to this.
Now
this is what we're gonna get into.
Yeah.
You got your match against Renegade, right? Talk about the promos. Talk about the lead up, the build. What ideas came about?
You wanna know the build? You wanna know the build? Okay, the whole build was Renegade was upset. He couldn't get away from the fact that I beat him at Judgment Day.
Yeah.
Okay, so if you guys don't realize, Judgment Day and the week after, his last 2 matches were against me. He didn't get the win, 2 losses, and then he was supposed to go against you. He never showed up. So basically, we went with the story where I ran him out. Him losing to a guy that just got in, embarrassed him, and he left the company because of that. He just didn't care no more. He left the company. So the way we did it was we had the story where he has a grudge. He wants his revenge. He wants another time. He wants another match against me. So you go listen to one of the radio shows and Talking Shoot. I go, I'm not wrestling. I'm just hosting. The doctor says I can't wrestle. All right, that was the plan. When he was gonna come, he was gonna do a home invasion, where with our schedules, it was hard. Yeah. So I tried to improvise, and I did the home invasion on my own. I had my brothers help me out. Yeah. And it was probably the worst promos ever, because
it didn't legitimately jump though.
It did, but it was just horrible because you hear me getting beat up, and you hear my little brother going in the background, breathing hard. Like, what the fuck? Javi has midgets fighting me? So
El Torito.
So El Torito fighting me. So when you turn on the light, you see me laying down with a fucking bunk bed rail right on my back. So then Kevin, helped. Kevin is a brilliant mind also when it comes to storylines. He improvised it where he put it before the video. He goes, breaking news. Punisher is in the hospital. Parent break-in, something like that. He's in the hospital. Further news. Then I catch on for it. That's when George adds in also. I kind of gave Renegade your number and your address to your house. Yeah. And then he calls in and say, yeah, it was me. And then he goes, I'll do it again. Next time it's gonna be your wife and your kids. And then he goes, if you accept my challenge, I won't do it. So I said, fine. You know what? I'll accept my challenge. And then we did it like that. The day of the match, me and Javi, like I said, scheduling.
Yeah.
We didn't get to work our matches out like we did with Judgment Day.
Yeah.
All right.
It was a little more difficult.
We had 20 minutes to do everything.
Yeah.
All right. And mind you, I would never do this again. Every time before, a couple months before a match, I will work out on my cardio. Because when I went into that match, I was beat into the first 2 minutes into that match. I couldn't. And you know what? And I'll tell you one thing. Me and this guy had 20 minutes to get that match together. But we did a match like we worked everything out in 6 months.
You felt like you never skipped a beat.
Yeah, me and him know each other.
Yeah.
We know each other. We go, yo, listen, this move. I got you, no problem. Boom, 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 boom. We did it. That's why we ended the feud. I don't see us wrestling each other again. But if I had a chance, I would do it all over. Yeah. This time in a ring. Because me and him never went one-on-one in a ring.
In the full box.
We did it in the park. I had Javi when he wrestled when I had him against John Cena. When he was John Cena. Put you under a train like a train conductor. I remember one line.
Like that. Yeah, he read it off paper.
He read it off paper with my handwriting. That was the funniest thing ever. And then he had Rey Mysterio. I thought him as Rey Mysterio. The mask.
The tallest Mexican ever.
Yeah,
Oh, man.
But
that's the thing. I think you guys never skipped the beat. And I think that was the key of that whole match. You guys look like you never skipped the beat. And it's been 10 years. Exactly, to the day.
And the match was supposed to be longer.
Yeah.
The match it was supposed to be like anywhere between 15 to 20 minutes. Because, Kevin gave me the opportunity. But the match only ended up being 12. I was hurting so bad. Couldn't breathe. My ribs were hurting.
Yeah.
I was like, yo, I'm dying in here, bro. I'm going to die in this match. All right? And knowing that I was heavy at that time because I had lost weight for 14.
Yeah.
I was heavy at that time. I told Javi, you can't do the sit-down powerbomb on me. Reggie's back. His move's the RKO. You're not going to do the RKO. So let's get something easy. Do the zigzag.
Yeah.
That's why I gave him the zigzag, and, that's how he beat me. The second zigzag, and the match was good. I loved it because, then again, when I came out with the Punisher music, what happened? Cheers. People jumping on my back. You see it in the footage, right? When me and Javi did moves, the crowds, they don't even know who we are.
Not a hole in the wall, and there was
clapping,
all pops.
Clapping pops. When me and him were on the ground together at the same time, they were clapping for us to get up. Boo, 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 boo. And that gave me like, honestly, that was gonna be my last match. And then that whole match, even though I was beat, I was like, you know what, I don't want to do this again. Yeah. I want to do this again. And I know Javi loves wrestling, and he was happy that he got a chance to do it again, especially his return match against me, especially that his wife was in the stands. He just want to show his wife. He showed his wife he loves doing this, and then made his wife a fan.
Yeah, made his wife a fan. Yeah, that was the day that she literally came. She watched, and then she went home, and then they go to wrestling shows together. She comes to 14. She's all on Facebook and Instagram.
Yes. And funny thing is, I'm married. I'm married with 2 kids. I didn't tell my wife. I was doing this.
Boy.
I did it.
You did it?
I try to hide it because my wife is she's tough. She wants to make sure I'm alright. She don't want me getting hurt doing stuff like that.
Of course.
So she didn't know, and I didn't tell her that I loved it. I love doing this. So I hid it from her. I told her I was DJing. I do believe I thought I was DJing at 13. She found out. You know how she found out?
Oh.
Because she has Javi's wife on Instagram, and she put the videos on Instagram. Oh. So I get a phone call during 13, and my father's like, I thought you were DJing. And he's laughing in the background. I thought you were DJing. What do you mean? What do you mean DJing, wrestling, and all that stuff?
You got beat up by turntables and a mic.
Yeah. So then when I called my wife was pissed off. When I got home, she's like, "Oh, I don't want you getting hurt. You could have just told me." I said, "Listen, I know you. You're not gonna accept what I did."
Yeah.
She does now. After I told her the truth, I said, "This is what I like doing."
Yeah.
And you know, she's somewhat of a fan.
Yeah.
Cause she in 14, she was asking me, "So, who's the mafia? This and that." And then she started, you know, she liked the mafia thing. She liked Kevin's pictures, the promos. She loved all of it.
Right.
She's like, "Oh, who you facing? Jeremy? Okay, this and that." She would have came to 14, but
situation.
she had other situations to take care of.
Right.
So you know,
You want to give a shout out to your wife?
Oh, hello. How you doing? Love you, baby.
Yeah, see, BDB loves you with his old deep old voice. Well, anyway, we're gonna take a short commercial break once again. When we come back, we're gonna see how Punisher emerged out of this cocoon into an angry gentleman known as today as BDB. How he got into the mafia and that whole situation. I want to get his thoughts on the whole situation with the mafia creation, and then he has to team up with his former rival and his match with Jeremazine at BW 2014. When we come back, we're going to ask him all those questions. Stay tuned. We'll be right back.
T-minus 10, 9, 8.
He wanted to be the best.
7, 6, 5.
A perfectionist.
4, 3, 2.
He was born to perform.
1, ignition. Liftoff.
Ooh, yeah! The intensity. Check this out! Elizabeth, down that aisle! I am the #1 wrestler in the world today! Right now, yeah! The madness. Living on the edge of a lightning bolt, and I do not apologize for that. Dig it? Yeah. The legend.
There's people who call themselves icons, and then there's icons.
One of the all-time greats, classic.
As macho as you may want to be, you'll never be as macho as the Macho Man, Randy Savage.
That has got to be my all-time favorite match.
There was nobody that didn't watch that match. Every single wrestler in the dressing room watched it. That match.
Feel what Macho Madness is all about. Ooh, yeah!
Oh, look at that. The Rock got a big head. Anyway, welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to BWE Beyond the Ropes. That was our final commercial break in this wonderful and non-angry conversation with Eric Rodriguez. Did you take Prozac yet?
You stupid.
See, I thought he took the Prozac, but I guess not.
Listen, I'm drug-free. I don't take pills.
All right, that's what I like to hear. Kids, don't do drugs. It's not good for you, and just stay in school. Just don't do anything stupid, because you're not gonna get anywhere anyway if you are stupid.
You might just get an RKO out of nowhere.
By God, RKO out of nowhere. Anyway, what a lot of folks don't know is that they know. Well, here's what they do know. They know that BWE's chairman is Kevin Arner. They know their CEO is George Serrano. What they don't know is that there's a particular major shareholder for the BWE wrestling ring itself. That major shareholder is you. How do you feel about being the major player in terms of having the decisions with the ring and everything?
I wasn't going to bring that up, but...
I'm bringing it up because it's Beyond the Ropes, and we're going to go in the ropes of Beyond the Ropes, if that made any sense.
Yeah, I'm a shareholder of the ring. You know, it's for the business. You know, it was the opportunity. We was given an opportunity. We was given a good deal. You know, I wanted the ring like everyone else who put in, and I said, you know what, you know, here, take my money.
Here, have my money, take it. Yeah. Nah, man, but that was probably the best decision, and I think I'm gonna say this on behalf of all the guys at BWE. Yo, man, thank you so much, because we actually got the pleasure of rolling around in that thing. You know, it's just a dream come true. We always picture that as kids when we were doing our thing as kids. Yo, we gotta one day buy a ring, and look, it actually happened. So, and you guys are the ones who found it. So, man, kudos to you.
You know what it is? Everybody's grown up, and their mind, their mentality is different now. And we're thinking about, we're trying to think about the long run. You know, anything is possible. Something can happen this year where we can stop. Next year we can stop, but we can at least say we did it. You know, we had a ring. We wrestled in a ring. We did a show in the ring.
Hell yeah.
But, we have a ring. Now that we have a ring, there's so many opportunities. You know, it could come into more shows, making money, anything. Right. Anything is possible now with that ring. That's why I said, let's do it.
Let's do it. Best business decision ever.
Best business decision. Whoever put all the stockholders, whoever put in, and whoever helped with the move, I give them the kudos. They moved that ring in that blizzard. I was in Virginia. I'm be honest with you. Yeah. I was in Virginia. I didn't know they were gonna get it that weekend. I would have helped if it was the following weekend. Yeah. If I was there, I would have helped. I would have been stuck with them.
Through the trenches.
I probably would have been sleeping on the sofa, but I wasn't there at that time. I was in Virginia. But I heard about the story and I felt bad. I felt really bad because I felt like I should have been there with them.
Those are the troops, man.
Yeah, those are troops, and I give them 100%. I give them 100% kudos for that. I have respect.
Lots of respect. Shit, that's a great deal coming from BDB. The Mafia. Got to get your input, man. I got it from George. I got it from Jay. I got it from your cousin, and now I'm gonna get it from you, the source. How in the hell did First off, how did Punisher transfer into BDB and then BDB just joins the Mafia? How did that all happen?
It all started with the talk show because everything was all NXW.
Yeah.
Everything was all NXW, right? Cage returned.
Right.
J. Cloud was there. And then Don was there. So they're all talking. They're part of the Mafia. I said, you know what? I'm going to call them. And I'm talking, blah, blah, blah. And I wasn't thinking about it. I was just talking, having a conversation with them. And Cage didn't know either. Cage was on the other line, and he was remarks at me. And then I said, you know what? Screw it. I said, Punisher is Mafia all day. And that's how it all happened. I didn't ask them. Once I said on the radio, Punisher is Mafia all day, that's automatically I was a member. I didn't talk to George. I didn't talk to Cloud. Right? It was when I said. That's when I started. When I chose a side. All right.
You felt like their views matched more of what.
You know why? And it's crazy. And and I'm gonna say it like this because after I joined, you see Carl and Henry join. Yeah. All right. And then Javi. Nobody went to Javi because they weren't expecting to let it grow that big.
Yeah.
Javi was the last person to join the Mafia. All right. Then Kevin said,
"That's it.
That's it." All right. That was after. But when I joined the Mafia, it was during NXW because we were gonna go on NXW WrestleManiacs, and then shit went down the drain, and that match got canceled between Anarchy and Cloud. Right. Then the Forefathers happened, and then the memes started on the chat rooms with the Mafia memeing, doing the jokes on the Forefathers. Yeah. And then Boom was an affiliate. He did a promo, and then I did a promo that never got released. And I'm happy it didn't get released.
Why is that?
Because it was a little. I think when I did the video, it had to be released at a certain time.
Right.
And it was like maybe a week or two before everything in NXW ended.
Yeah.
All right. I did it somewhere I was talking about the Forefathers, and especially
off the record.
You weren't. I know you weren't. I know you had nothing to do with it, and I didn't say nothing about it. And that was my presentation. That was my introduction to the Mafia. I had it all sued. I had my hair touched up, and I was like, you know what BDB's problem is? That's how BDB's problem came out to be, and that's how BDB came to become BDB. George, the Don, figured that we're the Mafia, something Italian. Italioso, mafioso. So he's like, why don't you call yourself Big Dick Batista?
Hey.
Yeah, Big Dick Batista. And I was like, bro, really? I'm really going to call myself Big Dick Batista. And then I don't know who was it, and it said, why don't you just say acronym? Why don't you just acronym and just say BDB? I said, you know what? I like BDB because BDB, my name may stand for Big Dick Batista, but if BDB can be anything.
Yeah.
I started that catchphrase, bada bing, bada boom.
Yeah.
All right? It can be bada bing because there's a BDB in it, and there's a bada boom. It could be BDB.
Oh, crap.
So, bada bing, bada boom. And what's your name? When little kid comes to me, what's your name? I'm going to tell the little kid, Big Dick Batista.
Right.
No, bada bing, bada boom. That's how it came out.
That's a very strong point. I never saw it that way. Just right now, I just figured that out.
Oh, you want to call me Bill de Blasio, but that's on you guys. But
Project Zero, whatever that thing is.
Yeah.
Oh God.
But
Bill.
that's how it happened. And what I I didn't realize what the Mafia was until Carl, Henry, and Renegade showed up. Because this is how I saw it. The Mafia, in my eyes, was the best stable. You know why? And that's to go back to back in the days. The best wrestlers, the best young guys that never really got the push. Well, we all got pushes. We all got our push. The Capos were one of the best tag teams. Renegade was one of the best heavyweight title champions. Cage was one of the best in-ring performers because you realize Cage didn't win a lot of belts. He didn't really care about the belts like that. Javi was one of the best champions, all right? And, I was one of the big guys, one of the best big guys, all right? But in my mind, that was the best group ever happened because all of us were one of the best wrestlers ever, to be in one group.
Yeah. It's a powerhouse group.
It was a powerhouse group. We were one of the best that came from NXW, went to BWE, and shook BWE. When we came in, we weren't in a group. Mm-hmm. Now coming back as a group, we're going to shake even more. So that's how I saw it. That's how I saw we were one of the powerhouses. And with a great mind like George, that dude, no matter what, I'm not, this is not BDB kissing the Don's ass.
No,
this is Eric praising George Serrano, a.k.a. Dave Matthews. That guy is brilliant. That guy knows how to run stories. He comes up with ideas. He's good. He's good at that stuff. Yeah. And I'm going to praise him for that. All right? And damn it. I was going to say something else, and I just forgot.
Backtrack. All right, fine. We'll go ahead and bring it up once you remember BWE. But let's talk about the BWE 2014 path that you took. You went against Jeremazing.
Yes.
He was known as Blade at one point.
He was known as Blade in NXW. He was known as Meat in NXW. He was known as Rock Jr. in NXW. I remember we did the award show, and I had my little brother. And we did a segment where you had him come out as Rock Jr. and you played The Rock. Because, Joey, you have more than one character, too.
Yeah, I did.
Yes.
I did have one character.
You played as The Rock, and Jeremy played as The Rock Jr. and my little brother. And I remember you giving me the rock bottom, then him giving me the rock bottom, and then my brother hitting me with like a wooden-ass pad and busting my mouth open. Oh. I remember that. But in BWE, he went in as Jeremy. And that's where that whole, and he started in the Raw. He was on Raw. That's where that whole 15-second champion thing came along.
Yeah.
All right. He basically beat Scorpion 1, 2, 3, and Christian came in and overturned it.
Yeah.
And he lost the title again. He lost the title in 15 seconds. Ooh. All right. Yeah. And the problem with that was Jeremy was a good wrestler. He was easy to work. At the Raw, he was easy to work with, but that 15-second champ stuff was what haunted him. Because he was always known, Jeremy, oh yeah, remember when he was 15-second champ? Yeah.
You felt like that?
That always haunted him. So when he was interested in coming back, because he was the referee, he was helping out as a referee. Yeah. He was the first ever referee in BW history to have a cam on his head. He was helping out. Yeah, he had the GoPro cam on his head. All right. So I guess he was interested in wrestling 14, so he got in contact with the bosses. And my thing was, I was interested in going one-on-one with OMX. I like how he wrestles. He's good. I said, let me see if I can go one-on-one with him. George came up to me and said, listen, Jeremy wants to wrestle again. Would you be interested in going one-on-one with him? I said, yeah, because you know why? I'm a type of person, I'll wrestle anybody. You need me to lose to the oldest man in the world who can't even lift a penny. You want me to lose to him? I will lose to him. Yeah. I don't care. I'm not picky. Win or lose, doesn't matter. Let me get into the show. Let me make that person better. Let me make that person look good then. Might as well. Let me do it. Why not?
I felt like the performance level is what mattered.
Yeah, that's how I am. So Jeremy, I was like, Jeremy hasn't wrestled in a long time. But I said, you know what? let's work something out. You know, I know he can do it.
Yeah.
I know he can do it. So me and Jeremy got together. I think we did one of the best awesome promos. Now that the whole mindset that Kevin had with 14.
Felt like it was on another
felt
level.
like it was another level. It felt like a pay-per-view, like really a real pay-per-view, like WrestleMania. Because Kevin, you know, the graphics he was using, the effects now, the video promos, the promos that I did with Jared Mason were the best. Jared Mason took an ass whipping in his own apartment.
Yeah.
He took an ass whipping in his own apartment.
Hey, even the stare down with the photo shoot.
Yes, even the stare down with the photo shoot.
That was pretty much. That was a pretty.
He spit
good...
gum in my face.
Yeah.
Or was it me that spit gum in his face?
That was tense.
I don't know. See, I forget sometimes too. I have too many chair shots today.
Yeah, too many chair shots, man. That's
the
what I call
photo
it.
shoot was intense.
Yeah,
all right.
It was a tense promo, man.
But you know what? It was all fun when
Yeah.
we did it. It was all fun. We sat down. We could listen. We gotta do this, that. We should do this way. We should do it that way, right? You know, there was more to that. You know, there was more to that promo too. In the beginning of the promo, where I go into his apartment, it was supposed to be in the beginning. It was me and George are talking. I'm driving the Dawn, and I'm talking. The Dawn's like, "Listen, we're gonna try to ease this."
Yeah.
Because before, you know, me and him weren't supposed to. You know, they're gonna play it off like me and him are not even gonna wrestle.
Yeah.
So we're just gonna ease this, you know. And Jeremy did his thing because he played it off good because he's Jeremazing. He's Jeremazing. He was no longer Jeremy. He's Jeremazing. And then he came out with those videos with the, "I'm so Jeremazing. I can cook and spell my name," and he had the eggs spelled Jeremy or something like that.
Yeah, something like that.
And
yeah,
then
that
he
was
did the exercise with his girl on his shoulder.
Yeah.
I thought that and the shooting one. That was one of the best ones.
Yeah, that was. I thought it was.
I think that was one of the best
I thought it was like some trick effect or something, but yes, he did get that shot in, huh?
Yes, he did.
I had to get him on this show because I had to ask him a lot of things. I question a lot of his stuff. I don't know if a lot of it's authentic or it is amazing like he says it is. But before we go into 14 and your match with him, me and you had an entertaining time at Raw in June. We were basically antagonizing each other. I threw my hat at you a couple of times. You were chasing me around the ring a couple of times.
You know what? It's funny because that was really my first time because, you know, me joining the Mafia, that made me a heel.
Yeah.
I've never been a heel. I've always been a tough baby face.
Yeah.
Like, I'm not scared to back down type baby face with a smile on his face. But it was my first time being heel. I was nervous. But like I said, the guys, Cloud, Cage, and George was like, you know, you can do it. You can do it. The original thing for BDB was I was supposed to be like Diesel to Shawn Michaels.
Just the bodyguard.
I was supposed to be Cage's bodyguard.
Yeah.
I was supposed to be walking out with Cage, walking out with a suit, with glasses, and I was supposed to be the enforcer, like the brutal enforcer of it. But
I guess we could just call you the enforcer now.
Oh no, I don't want to be an enforcer.
Oh, okay.
That's somebody else.
Oh, right.
Yeah,
You're absolutely right. You're absolutely right. Sorry about that. See, again, the chair shots. It's ridiculous, man. I'm telling you.
I know.
Out of nowhere.
But, you know, with Jeremazing, did I just totally forget what I just
No, you didn't
said?
forget. Where you were going with is that you were getting influence from Dave Matthews, Jay Cloud
to be a heel.
To be a top heel.
Yes,
with
to
them.
be a heel. So yeah, Jeremazing comes into the picture. To be a heel. So when I came out, we did that promo in the beginning of Raw.
Yeah.
All right. And you saw everybody booing. Yo, I loved it. It was so cool because you got the crowd amped up. And then, you know what? And I guess the crowd loved, because in the crowd was, you know, you had people, and then you had groups from another fair. You had TCW there. And they were trying to get me. They were getting on me, calling me Grand Miss. And BDB's anger came out.
Yeah.
And that's what I loved it. And everybody's like, yo, and they came up to me at the end of the show, yo, I like the way your character is. The anger is funny. It's cool. It's good. I like it.
We never had anything like that.
We never had anything. I'm the bully.
Yeah.
I'm the anger. I'm the one with the anger management.
Yeah.
All right. I just beat up Jeremazing, right? And then when it came to you, where I was in Renegade's corner and you were on Jeremazing's corner, and me and you were running around playing that game, that was cool. And then at the same time, the crowd is
in it. It was in it. I had so much fun that day. I could remember you chasing me around the ring. Well, I was chasing you around the ring, and I was just like, damn, I'm going to fall. I'm going to bust my ass. I'm going to hit one of these turnbuckles or one of these corner posts. I'm going to fall. I'm going to be the laughing stock, and then BDB was going to get one on me, and damn, he didn't even touch me. He won. It's crazy, but it was such an entertaining day.
That was a good match. And that's what helped. That's what helped me realize too that Jeremy. That really helped me realize that Jeremy. I wasn't gonna have a problem with him.
Yeah.
Because he did an excellent job against Renegade.
Yeah.
But you know, Renegade, he knows his ring stuff, and you know, he wrestled again, and it felt like it was not like he didn't forget anything.
Yeah.
So I was more, you know, that was like a test for me, and I thought Jeremy passed with flying colors. I think he did an awesome job.
Yeah.
And
Agreed.
I know that you gave Renegade a bump in his eye or something.
Oh my god, I feel horrible about that.
Man, we had to give him, I gave him like a cream or something, or I told him to put like, because you know us Spanish people we call this thing called ubre de vaca.
Yeah, I know what that is.
Yeah, so I told him, yeah, put the ubre de vaca on your face. And
that was miscommunication on my part. Yeah. I gave him a John Jones.
And that was our first show in the ring.
Yeah, man, I didn't know how to react.
And then were you in that dark match? The one that we still waiting for it to come out?
Yeah, I was in the dark match, and I gotta say, I'm not gonna lie, I was scared as shit. I didn't know what to do. I froze. I'm not gonna lie, I froze.
I thought the dark match was awesome.
It was fun.
It was fun. I wish it was the main event of Raw.
Yeah, it should have been.
It should have been, but
powers they be didn't let it happen.
It was just I guess it was just a practice for everyone.
Yeah.
I think I twisted my knee a little bit. I got
really?
hurt. Yeah, because you know all that stuff was happening in the ring, and then Reggie called me with the RKO.
Yeah.
And I had to turn around Sean because I could have landed on Sean and hurt him.
Yeah.
So I had to turn, do an extra turn, and I ended up twisting my knee a little further.
Yeah.
And I landed, and I fell, and I hit my knee on the ring.
So, did you wrestle BWE 14 hurt, or did you?
No, thank God.
Oh, that's.
They gave us time to
heal and everything.
To heal, because the show was like maybe a month before.
Do you like the current schedule?
What schedule?
Like, for example, we'll do a Raw show and then 14, and then next year we're doing, I think, a SmackDown, a Rumble show, and then 15.
Well, let's get to the Rumble first.
Yeah.
Because we still dealing with business stuff right now.
Yeah.
Trying to get some. Let's not go into that, but
so we'll get the crowd and everybody will get.
But Rumble is probably going to be first, and I'm hoping because SmackDown is the home of BDB, Punisher. I'm hoping to have a nice homecoming. Cool. I'm hoping they'll decide to throw SmackDown instead of another Raw.
Yeah.
I think SmackDown
change it up.
I think SmackDown deserves its shine right now.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I agree. So let's go into BWE 14.
Okay.
How was that for you? You fought Jared Amazing, you and Gorilla, the whole process.
It was. Everyone was worried the ring was going to take away space.
Yeah.
And what we did was we built benches.
Yeah.
All right. We built benches the best way we could. We bought wood. We built benches. We had extra seats. All right. Once that was done and we saw everybody there, we felt good because it was crazy. The ring is bigger, but I felt we had more people in attendance than we did at 13.
Oh my God, yeah, we did.
Because of the benches.
Yeah.
All right. You had your own section. Zero had his own section, which was humongous.
Yeah.
All right. I had my peoples from Long Island show up because who know J Cloud. They showed up for him. All right. Renegade had his people. I had my father, my sisters, my nephew, my brothers. They all showed up.
Yeah.
They all showed up, and you had people. You had Kevin's grandmother and Kevin's father and Kevin's mother there. It was a big thing for everybody.
Absolutely.
It was a big thing for everybody. Almost everybody in their family showed up to the show.
It's funny that you mentioned all those people because, believe it or not, come and think about it now, it gives me chills because I feel like that right there was just, I think, the crowning jewel moment for everybody. All the people that we care about personally actually came out to support the show as a whole. Excuse me. Now, going into your match, did you feel prepared? Did you feel like you had the chemistry? How nervous were you?
I thought I was ready. Right?
The gear was good, by the way. The gear was dope.
Thank you. The gear was. It was a tactical pants, like any people from the ambulance or police officers or tactical officers. They wear that.
Yeah.
I wore it looked like a vest, right? It looked like something from like the Shield. Boots. BDB's an enforcer. BDB's the tough man in the mafia. He needs to look tough. That's what I did. And I decided, they told me, they said, that you're here now, you can't use step up. And I'm like, damn. So I said, you know what? the last name is Batista. All right, I said the last name. If you do this, is Big Dick Batista. So the last name is Batista. So that's the NXW character, Eric Batista.
Yeah.
And I thought about it. What was the last song I had? What was the last song I had when I won the titles? When I had the great matches, right? So I said, you know what? Let me use Don Omar Conteo. I'm the only one using reggaeton. Who used the reggaeton song?
Yeah,
in BWV 13. You know, BWV 14. I'm sorry. And I said, you know, let me do it because this is it. One. You know, if I translate it, it's 1, 2, 3. He's counting and then he's saying marching. He's marching basically at the beginning of the song. So I said, you know what? Fuck it. Let me use that one. Let me go back old school. That's what I did. I went back old school as a heel. Used the old school song. All right, and I changed I went in with Jeremy Amazing. Jeremy came up with the song Amazing. Excellent gear.
Yeah.
All right, he did his thing. He did his push-ups, got himself ready. Right, in the ring, we were perfect. I think everything was fine. You know, everything was smooth. He did his moves. He was getting alls. I was doing stuff that I thought I never did. That I thought I would have never done before.
You were monkey flipping for crying out loud.
Yes, he caught me with the somewhat like a Superman uppercut.
Yeah.
And then he did his finisher on me. He caught me on his shoulder, and he perfectly dropped me. I remember that. And then he took I don't really have a name for my finisher because remember my finisher was the Capital Punishment, which was an NXW was X's finisher called the F7.
Yeah.
But it looked like an F5, but it looks like turning into a rock bottom in the midair. Yeah, that was my finisher there. But I was like, let me try something different, more devastating. So, I took Bray Wyatt's move. It's just the Abigail, and I didn't have a name for it. But then people in the crowd started giving it a name, and I think I'll stick to it. I don't remember it was Abuela Martinez, Abuela something like that. It was something with a Spanish name.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I think I might stick with that. Keep it the last name like that. And, but Jeremy Mason did a good job.
Yeah.
I took the win, but he was fine with it. But I honestly feel that win or loss, Jeremy basically stepped over that 15-second champion.
Yeah, that's not even known.
Because that's not even relevant no more.
No, it's not.
He's the man. He's Jeremazing.
Yeah.
Like literally, I went to a TCW show, and a couple of dudes I heard a couple of dudes saying, "Yeah, yo, I want to wrestle Jeremazing."
Yeah, that's damn good.
Seriously,
yeah.
I want to wrestle Jeremazing. He earned it.
Yeah.
He earned it.
He bust his ass, and the guy's in great shape.
Yes.
You're in great shape. You lost a lot of weight. You were like I said before, you were monkey flipping.
Man.
You were
talking about losing weight, man. I had a personal trainer at my job.
Yeah.
He would bust my ass the whole time. I had 2 months to get myself together.
Yeah.
Before the show. All right. I lost 20 pounds. 20 pounds just for 14, and my cardio was on point.
You felt 10
And you
times
know
better.
what was my secret? I didn't go on the treadmill.
Yeah.
I didn't go on the treadmill. Every day at the gym. I went to the gym 3 times a day.
Yeah.
I quit the soda. I went straight to water, and I cut down my portions. But my secret with my cardio was I did everything in a circuit.
Yeah.
1 minute I'm doing lifting weights. The next minute I'm doing jumping jacks. Then I'm working on my stomach. All right? Take a break, do it again. Take a break, do it again. But then what I would do for the rest of because I would go in the gym for an hour. What I'll do for like 20 minutes every time I'm in the gym, jump rope. Jump rope is another way of cardio.
Yeah.
Jump rope, jump rope, jump rope. I was jump roping every day.
Do you regret
jump rope every day?
Do you regret spilling your secrets now? You could have made money off of that.
No, I don't.
Come on, man. You could have made some money off of that.
I don't.
Well, you just probably shared something, and hopefully
jump roping every day. And you know what? I kind of slacked off, but I'm going back to it. I think jump roping is the best thing. Because you know what? I don't like jumping. The treadmill hurts my knees. Yeah. Doing it on the treadmill hurts me. I go on the bike for 10 minutes, but jump roping is what I feel is better. And I'm no Money Mayweather, but I do know some tricks in the jump rope. I have 7 sisters, so they taught me some stuff.
Awesome to hear. Now going back to 14 after your match, you had you played a little part in someone else's match. You played a little part in your cousin's match, and you pretty much it was like the kick out of the Mafia. You interfered and you took Jason Cage out. How'd you feel about doing that?
you want to know how I felt about doing it, right?
Or should we wait for a promo?
No.
Give us a heads up then.
This is out of character. I'm bringing kayfabe on this one. We were training one day, right? And I saw Christian, and he was just, he was messing around in the ring and stuff. And he came up to me. He's like, "Yo, we got this plan, right?" And the plan was that I was gonna. The plan was, he told me, he was like, "You're gonna betray me at 14. The Mafia's gonna betray me at 14." And Cloud, you can see in his face, he didn't want it because Jay, Cloud, and Chris are best friends. Cloud, I know he was joking around, but then deep down inside, he hated me. And I'm like, I don't want to do this. Why you having me do this? He goes, I want you to do it. We think it's the best thing. We want to build your character up more. Yeah. But I'm like, is there other way to do it?
Yeah.
Like, I think this is the best way. So I said, fine. How you want me to do it? And then that's when we came up with the Sister Abigail and the chair shots, and then me putting on the mask and doing all that stuff, and then dragging him out, and me basically ending his career, right? Which I don't. Hopefully, it's not. Just because he moved to Texas doesn't mean that he ends his career, right? I'm hoping that he comes back for for the next show. If 15
SmackDown.
I'm looking forward to seeing him if he decides to. But if you've seen the background tension, because only a few of us know, nobody else knew what was going on.
Yeah.
Just me, me, Cloud, Kevin, and George.
Yeah.
That's all who knew. All right. That's all who knew. And me and Jeremy Mason almost got into a little argument because he wanted to do a move, and I said, "No, we can't use this." And he's like, "Why? No, we can't use this. Why?
You don't want to
no, we can't use. Why you being?" He's like, "Why are you being such a bitch for? Just tell me." I'm like, "No, I can't tell you why we can't use it.
Yeah.
Just listen to me for once, and that's it." So when Cage's match at 14 against Scorpion, I think was the best match.
Yeah.
I think it was the best match, and it came close. Jay's match in the main event came close to a tie with it. But Cage and Scorpion's match was the best match at 15. I think that was Scorpion. 14. I keep saying 15. I think that was the best Scorpion match I've ever seen in Scorpion's career.
That was,
Scorpion gave Cage gave Scorpion his all, and Scorpion gave Cage his all. Yeah. Scorpion and Shawn.
It was very underrated.
Yes. And for Cage coming back.
Yeah. After
in a big match.
Yeah.
You want to know a story, that untold story?
What's this?
I pushed to make this match a casket match.
And it never happened.
It never happened because we didn't have the funds to make the casket.
Yeah.
But Kevin gave me the blessing. He gave me the green light. He said, "You know what I say? Build it, it will come."
Yeah.
Build it, it will happen.
We could have just made boxes of it. You could have casket
we
box.
wanted it to be
authentic
casket.
Yeah.
If it was a casket match, I think it would have blown. It would have blown it. It would have been the best match. Period.
Yeah, absolutely.
All right.
Now,
but when
go ahead, continue, man. This is your time. This is your time.
When the match was getting close to the end, and Cage lost, right? George and Jay were in the gorilla booth. The music's being done, and they saw me, right? And George looks at me, and he down inside, he's telling me, "Forget it. Don't do it." Mm-hmm. But he looked his head down. He just went. He literally looked his head down in disgust. Yeah. Like he's like, "Yo, I think I just made a mistake."
Yeah.
Because he's the one that said, "Do it."
Do it.
George said, "We should do it. We need a surprise."
Yeah.
And he gave me this look, and Cloud gave me this look too. It was like, "All right." I said, "I know." And George gave me that look. He looked down like, "Oh man, what the fuck did I just do?" So I went out there. I gave Cage a hug, and I gave him the Sister Abigail, and I gave him the chair shots to the back.
Shocked the world.
I shocked the world.
That was a surprising moment. I remember sitting there for that. I was shocked. I was like, "What the hell just happened?" Nobody expected it. The crowd went, "What?" They were just shocked.
Yeah. Overall, the whole show was excellent. I kept saying this to this day, and I will never take it back. All the matches on that show could have been a main event.
Yeah.
The first match, the ladder match, 10 out of 10.
Yeah.
Every match was a 10 out of 10. Every match had a suspense.
Yep.
All right? Javi's wife got in your match.
She almost
all right? I hit Jared Mason with 2 Sister Abigails and a bike chain across his face. All right, the main event with the ref, Cage and Scorpion.
A lot of stories are still untold.
Kevin against the Colt. The Colt. They're awesome. They're an awesome group.
Underrated guys.
Underrated group. All right, with an awesome theme song.
Which is the next subject I want to bring up, because now that 14 ended and we created some great memories, there's another group out there that is I could say co-branded with us. I couldn't say co-branded, but they're out there. They're down in Coney Island. TCW. I love those guys. Those guys are great. I watch them on YouTube. I keep up with their stuff. How do you feel? I mean, you were there recently, and for those of you who don't know, this was pre-recorded on October 23rd, so you'll probably hear this a little bit later, but this was a week that BDB actually ventured off to TCW to, to visit the place, and he was actually a part of something. How did you feel about the TCW guys in the locker room, their environment?
They remind me of NXW.
Yeah.
But not the NXW with the politics and the negativity.
It was actually the fun part.
The fun part and the hungriness.
Yeah.
And the love they have for each other. Because, we have fun when we're at the park.
Yeah.
We have fun when we're at the park. All right? TCW reminds me of NXW, but 100 times better.
Yeah.
100 times better. Yeah. And I love TCW. They're awesome.
Yeah.
They're awesome. Very nice. They give us the respect, a lot of respect, DWB. Like, they respect us, and they come to our shows and we go to their shows.
Yeah.
That's the respect. All right, there's no cockiness there. Not like when you had, I love the people from AWF, right, and I love the people, NXW, but some of them had cockiness. There was respect, but sometimes there was cockiness. Sometimes we do something behind their backs, disrespect people. It wasn't, sometimes it wasn't all about that. TCW is the future right now. They're young guys.
Yep.
All right, I see us working with them more. Hey, you know what? I'm gonna predict something. I could see a merger.
I hope it happens, man.
I could see a merger.
That'd be great.
I could see a merger, and you know what? If I was, Kevin and George, smart people. I know they're gonna do it right. But if it was me,
yeah.
If I had the chance to merge it,
you do it.
I'll do it, and I have so much ideas, so much things that can happen.
Yep.
So much things that can happen.
New rivalries. New
some
stories.
of the guys over there, they want to wrestle some of us. They, want to wrestle some of us. They're like, yeah, you know what? I'm interested in wrestling Cage. I'm interested in wrestling George, Kevin, Jared Mason. I'm interested in wrestling one of them over there. Yeah. And a whole bunch of group of them over there, they want one of their stars to wrestle
yourself.
Me. All right.
How'd you feel?
That's crazy. Well, I felt it's crazy. One of the guys there, his name is Nick. Right, he's one of the Purge members.
Right,
he knows my brother-in-law, and we didn't know that. I had to come up to him and be like, "Yo, you know my brother-in-law, Ernest?" Yeah, there's a small world.
Small world.
So I know him, and then I went there yesterday. And he's like, "Yo," they kept saying me against this other person, this guy named CJ Frost.
Yeah,
it might be up and coming guy too. And said so. They're like, "Yo, him against CJ Frost." I guess they see CJ Frost as maybe like the hero.
Yeah,
he's like the up and coming hero, and I'm the bully. Yeah. So they want to see something like that, and we're both big people.
Yeah.
So they want to see CJ Frost.
Maybe it'll happen.
And who knows? Maybe it will. I have my eyes set on one person. I'm hoping I get it.
You can't say none. I ain't
gonna say it because you know what? That person don't even know either. But
okay. Good.
I've been throwing little hints at, like, the bosses over there and the Don.
Yeah.
George. I've been telling him, listen, this is who I want. The Rumble or SmackDown or 15. It don't matter. Make it happen.
Yeah.
That's what I want. CJ Frost, I'm down for whatever.
Yeah.
But it has to be, I don't mean to go back into character, but it has to be on my time, and it has to be on my show.
Good enough deal. We're gonna lastly end it off what I always do on the end of the WWE Beyond the Rope show. I always ask this to all my guests, and every guest has answered somewhat differently.
One second, I just want to say what's up to TPC.
Oh, TPC, TPC, TCW. Well, they're not together anymore. That's a relationship broken, right? But shout out to TCW.
And Random deserves his own cooking show.
And J. Up's cooking show.
He makes J. Cloud chicken.
I think they give the Food Network a run for their money.
Yeah.
But I always ask this question at the end of my show, and that question is, how do you feel about the saying, "There's no money in yard"? some awkward silence there.
You know what I feel about that? There's no money in yarding. You know what? There is no money in yarding. Let's be honest. There isn't. But you know what? The one that it came out of the person's mouth, that was hypocritical.
Yeah.
That was a hypocrite thing to say.
Yeah.
Because you know what? You would just like us, and I guarantee you, if you had the opportunity, you would be just like us again.
Now, is this BDB talking or Eric Rodriguez?
No, this is both talking.
Gotcha.
This is both talking. There is no money in yarding.
Right.
All right? But there's opportunity to make money in yarding if you do it the smart way.
Yeah.
All right? But, like I said before, the way that person said it was just out of anger. Because you know what? You're talking about yourself then.
Yeah.
You're talking about yourself then. Because you know what? When we were younger, that person was older already. Working. And he was still coming to the park and wrestling.
Yeah.
All right? Still coming to the park and wrestling. I respect the guy to this day. I can talk to him like nothing. But, let's be real. Just because you got training from other people,
yeah,
all right, still doesn't make you better than anyone else. Because at the end of the day, we all did it together.
Yeah.
All right? So, just because a situation that happened, and you know, let's be honest with you, it has something to do with Henry Camacho and Kevin. Yeah. Something to do with BWE 14. That's between them two. Let them deal with it. Yeah. Nobody else should have been putting their 2 cents in it.
Right.
All right? The guy was angry. The guy was mad. 2 people were angry. All right? Because one is hurt. That's fine. One is hurt. But then the other time, the other guy was putting his sweat and tears on the show. All right? And then you wait till last minute to cancel out both on Raw last minute and 14 last minute. How do you expect that person to feel? That person's going to be angry too. And when people get angry, people say angry things. Same thing as when that person, Henry Camacho, when he was hurt, he got angry. He said things that I guarantee you, he didn't mean to say. Yeah. Well, people didn't mean to say. So, you know, when people got into it and be like, you know what, this and that, there's no yarding in wrestling. No offense.
No money in yarding.
This goes to anybody who doesn't know us like that and should know better. If you don't know how our history is with wrestling, even when NXW situations with Anarchy and certain people got into it and they said some things they weren't supposed to be, said some things like they knew what was going on, you should have stood away from that. You should have mind your business, because that's history that comes back and people bring it up because it's the truth sometimes.
Do you feel the history, though, is relevant or irrelevant?
History is relevant because there's a saying, and I learned this from my father. History repeats itself. If you don't pay attention to what history's the effects of history, you're destined to repeat it again.
Yeah.
You are destined to repeat it again. I'm not saying, you know, Henry will pull it again, but let's say they decide to make that match happen, all right, and Kevin goes, you know what, forget about it. It happens again, 15, because Kevin's getting a chance. This time Kevin doesn't have a match. Right? History repeated itself.
Right.
All right? But you know why? Because he ignored it. Now maybe because history. Now if he pays. Now because I know Kevin will. He's gonna go back to the history and be like, you know what? Nah, I don't think I'm gonna try this time.
Yeah.
You get what I'm saying?
Gotcha.
I go by that. The history repeats itself. If you ignore it, it's destined to happen again.
Strong words.
It's life.
Strong words. Strong words. That was the Tommy Gun shot, ladies and gentlemen, from the
Consigliere.
I don't know how to say that stupid word. I'm not going to say it. But listen, we know who the hell you are. We know what you mean. And by God, from the good words of JR, thank you so much for coming on my show on BWE Beyond the Ropes.
Thank you for having me. I appreciate it.
You kept it real, and I appreciate that.
Oh,
you even told me like it was, and I appreciate it. If I could change things, you know I would. But hey, it is what it is.
Can I give a shout out before I head out?
Go for it.
All right, just want to give a shout out to the Mafia family. Even though you're not in the Mafia no more, you guys are still Mafia in the background. We have our own clique in the, you know, we're WWE's version of the clique. You know, shout out to Henry, shout out to Carl, Javi. Hope you're enjoying Florida out there. You moved out there also, and Cage, you're enjoying Texas, man. See you around.
Why don't you just shout out the whole roster? You
just okay.
Did half of them.
J Cloud, what's up, champ? Dave Matthews, The Don, BTZ, TG1, Sean, Y2R, Stratus, man, you're all right. Don't worry about it. and the ref, and the ref, The ring announcer was awesome.
Great.
But now, I give shout out. You know what? I'm gonna give kudos to my brother, Junior. Elvin Jr. He did a good job. People hated on him for the main event because he, it was his first time being a ref. But I think he did his job. And look out for him because he's getting into the ring next year.
That's right. And there it goes, folks. You heard it from BDB, a.k.a. Eric Rodriguez. This is Joey Styles signing off from BWE Beyond the Ropes.
Bada bing, bada boom.
The only podcast you want to travel with, boy. Take care, folks.